next.
You're gonna get another bike here out of
It's going to be slightly different.
out of Cliff's arsenal of bikes.
Made by Mitch Lamore.
Made by Cyclist Lamore, Mitch Lamore.
Yeah, he made this one.
Custom made frames.
And this was a custom made frame by a guy named John Paget who lives up here.
Okay.
Now you can see by looking at it, comparing it, this is a mountain bike.
Right.
We've got some differences, but you can see there's also some similarities. These handlebars are sort of in between here and here on the down spots. But the triangulation that we spoke about here is pretty much the same. The upper triangle with the down triangle. The difference is lowering the bar so that when you come off the bike, you have this bar in the way and it can hurt. So we move it out and put it on a slight angle.
Right, meaning that on a mountain bike they expect that you're going to be doing a lot more
coming off, sliding off, moving around, whatever. You've got to get on and off your bike. You're
so
doing all sorts of wonderful things.
Hitting top bar not good, so that's why mountain bikes are made that way. But the basic symmetry and measurements should be the same.
And it also, although it's a slight amount, lowers the center of gravity slightly because the weight's slightly lower.
Right, and if you look at that seat post tube and seat post or saddle, the height should be about the same ratio, depending on what kind of riding you're going to do, right?
Right. Downhill, lower, uphill, raised. Now you'll see professional riders on racing bikes as well as these, the terrain and what they're doing over, going over, will help them to decide how they want their saddle placed. But basically, it's the same distance, center to the saddle, as this one.
All right.
So the triangulation principle is the same, mathematically.
Pretty simple.
Yeah, and that's how you do it. Now this top tube, because it wasn't built for me, it was a bike used, the whole frame should be a little shorter for me. It's just about 1.5 inches too long.
Right.
But, you know, you can adjust to it. So we were talking about perfection.
Basically, this is a custom-made frame.
Right.
But let's just say a guy wants to go into a bicycle shop and the guy says, what size of bike do you need? In general terms, what would you say your size is?
My size?
Mm-hmm.
23 inch.
23 inch, and what would you say that, turn that sideways for us so we can see it. What would you say that frame is? What size would that be?
Well, this is a 22 inch frame.
That's a 22 inch frame.
Frame is 22.5 inch frame. And the frame size is measured
from, let me get a zoom shot.
Here. It has nothing to do with wheel size.
Okay, it's from, point at that axle down there. It's from the axle.
Right here, seat post tube.
Okay, and
to the center of the frame.
To the center of that framing tube up there is the size of bike you got.
That's right. So now it's got 26 inch wheels.
26
wheels.
inch
So people will go into a store and say, I want a 26 inch bike. Well, the 26 inch bike means that this frame now, and you can tell by the head tube here, is going to be up to about here.
Right.
And you won't be able to straddle it. Well, now what will happen most often is they'll bring a bike out and they'll say stand over it. Now notice I'm off the ground by a couple of inches. So I'm sitting on the bar.
Right.
Now if I were to have this bike on wheels, sitting on the bar is not good. That means it's too big of a frame. It has nothing to do with the wheels.
Right. If the wheels were touching the ground.
Right. Now let me take down my other.
Let's take down the other
super high-tech bike.
There we go.
The one we saw on the road.
Super high-tech bike.
Now you notice that once again this is taking on somewhat of a mountain bike look because the top tube has been dropped back here, which doesn't destroy the angle at all. But as you can see, if I pull my pants up here, I've got clearance.
You're cleared pretty good, and that's how you tell it's about the right size bike. The simplest way.
Out of a shop, that's the simplest way. And this happens to be a super light. weighs 16 pounds, 16 and a quarter pounds without these on it,
Right.
which is extremely light, and it's geared for high speed travel. We're talking 5 on the downhills.
55.
Or more. Yeah.
I can't drive it.
It's flying.